Good day, Way of the Rose Community 54-day Novena. This is day 46, the Joyful Mysteries, and we are exploring the Agony in the Garden mystery. A lot of the posts are sharing very dark nights of the soul, and we all have them. And I'm going to tell a little story and then do a little bit of movement. Um, I myself last year went with my brother in November to Our Lady of Gethsemani, which is a monastery in Kentucky. I had never been there, but upon going there, I discovered all kinds of connection to my family, especially my dad's side of the family. His mother grew up in Nelson County, the same county, and her family used to go there to get fruits and vegetables when it was a farm, and there were more monks living there. So there's a lot of family history there that somehow I never knew. And of course, Thomas Merton is was there, and I'm reading um, daily meditations with him. But I went there on a quest around my father because my father used to go with two of my brothers there for a long time for on retreats. And knowing my father, whose mother was an alcoholic, and so he had something in him that was very deeply pained. And I think he used to go there and really feel his agony in the garden. And at the same time, he was trying to cleanse himself or rebirth himself so that he could find the best of himself. And I came to this experience after my 4 or 5 days there, where when I did wake up to the bells and went to the prayers and went and prayed the rosary in the chapel, because my brother told me about an experience my dad had. My dad had a mystical experience in this chapel, and so I wanted to feel that connection to him. And towards the end of the retreat, so it was the last night of the retreat, I was in there with a much younger woman who was crying. So she was clearly having some of her agony in the garden, and I sat on the floor and just looked at her. And then eventually I asked her if she wanted a hug, and she did. And so the experience for me over the next, evening and morning became supporting her. At night during prayers, I put my hand on her back as she was weeping, and I followed her to the blessing, feeling very empowered. I was feeling the strength of womanhood, of really being a woman. And it was really powerful for me in that way. And so my connection to my dad feels even deeper and more enriched by going on that little pilgrimage. And so as I sit in front of you, considering the agony in the garden, I feel often, if I'm in that space, so I'll move away from come back to do a little movement, is that my chest begins to collapse. And I don't know if that's what you might feel. There might be that sense of protection, that sense of the shoulders rounding over, the sense of the arms. So sometimes when we're in that space of agony, we may want to just embrace ourselves and give ourselves some of that self-touch, and really remembering to breathe And maybe it is tears we need to let go of. Like Raphael said in his post about the losses he's experienced and just that saltwater tears that are so cleansing and so healing. So it could be that as you're experiencing an agony in the garden, it could also be that you want to be in that really rounded position of that's the fetal position, and that can be very comforting. You can wrap yourself in blankets and really give away to that feeling and let gravity support you. Because once you allow gravity to support you, you often feel how it really does, that vibration that the earth gives. So that can be something that you do in movement. The self touch for me is reminding myself that I'm still here in spite of the agony, and that I can start to appreciate myself, appreciate how this body has held me, that our mother has given me this body in this lifetime to hold me and carry my past, present, and perhaps future, and that I can appreciate this body for all that it has brought with it. And one of the images that comes to me is from Clarissa Pinkola Estes, who writes about having a coat with, that carries all the wounds and everything that we've carried. And I imagined it when I read her book as like it's almost like this art piece that just hangs up as a view, but you can also imagine in your own agony in the garden, wearing that heavy coat, wearing that, but also acknowledging that heavy coat, like, look what you've carried for me. Maybe I don't need to wear you all the time, but sometimes I need to wear you, and it gives comfort. And I'm sitting on a ball right here. And another thing about comfort is just finding little rhythms that give you comfort in that. And sometimes you just have to be in that heavy grief place. And it may not always be heavy and it may not always be grief. But the agony in the garden reminds us that while we feel the burden, that nobody's there for us, that it's in those moments that we find her, that it's in those moments that we often feel Our Lady, our Mama, come and hold us and perhaps whisper something in our ear to give us comfort, to know who we truly are, and that there's always support for us. So thank you. Many, many blessings, many prayers.